The Clippers, they were getting beat. They were losing in the first half. The start of the third quarter, the Warriors hit 9 for 9 shots. It was over. It was over. At one point, they were up by 31 points. And then things started happening for the Clippers. They started getting some buckets. Lou Williams can get hot at any time. And Lou Williams got hot. Pat Beverley did what Pat Beverley does. And by now, you know what happened. Montrezl Harrell producing. There was a couple big threes made by my man Shamet, traded from the 76ers early in the season, a rookie. And in the end, Steve Ballmer had something to celebrate. The largest comeback win in playoff history. How did this happen, Jalen Rose?
It's really dubious that the Golden State Warriors were on the wrong side of history a couple of times. The only team to allow a squad to come back trailing 3-1 in the finals, and now the only team to be winning by 31 points and lose a playoff game. It goes back to the core of the team Jerry West put together. I talked about this at the beginning of the year. He got all vets. Cats that know who they are that's going to play hard all of the time. That's what Montrezl Harrell is going to do. He's going to go after every rebound, going to go after every loose ball. When he's in front of the rim, he's going to dunk it if he can.
I love him so much. I loved him on the Rockets. I was wondering why he didn't get more burn there.
Patrick Beverley, you saw him strip Steph Curry at half court. That normally doesn't happen. You also see him guarding Kevin Durant, who's 10 inches taller than him. He's an irritant, okay? He's going to get under your skin. That's why he's in the league, okay? Lou Williams is a professional scorer.
He is.
He wants to get buckets.
He's been doing this for a decade.
This is what he does.
He's been doing it for a decade.
Off the dribble from 3, off pick and roll. It could be isolation. It could be clutch. And he had 11 assists.
And a lot of his assists are like accidental. Like he'll drive and he'll jump to shoot and be like, oh, this ain't working. And then just kick it out to somebody for a shot. And even Danilo Gallinari didn't really even have a great game.
He had 24.
It was so much fun to watch this all happen because it was one of those things where you're like, is it, wait, the lead's 16 now? And they're like, oh, is it? It's 12 now? And then Steph hit that big 3 at the end where you kind of thought, like, oh, this is all for naught. But my man Landry Shamet he was getting burned for the 76ers early in the season. He's a rookie. He was just kind of like a piece of this deal, not one of the biggest pieces of this deal. Hit some big shots throughout the whole entire game.
Inner head coach Doc Rivers. You look at the most important play of the game where he ended up making that 3. The guy passed him the ball is another rookie. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Okay, so putting those guys in a position to be successful has now allowed the Clippers to unlock their squad. The guys that I mentioned can play and do what they've been doing for a really long time. For people who felt like me when they traded Tobias Harris, almost like they were punting on the season.
Felt like it.
So they can maintain their lottery pick. Well, that's actually what they've done the last 2 years. And so they were able to maintain down 31, frustrate KD. By the way, KD's not playing the villain role well.
No.
When he got to Golden State, look at the text that he was getting in OKC. It's been heightened since he got to the Warriors. Yes, he's won 2 championships. Yes, he's won 2 finals MVPs. Final regular season game of the year, he got ejected. First playoff game, he got ejected. Equals second playoff game, he fouled out. Okay? They needed him on that last possession. There's so many guys that they're leaving open when you play against the Golden State Warriors and daring them to shoot. Steph Curry was the option, and everybody knew it on that final play. They did a good job of defense.
And in order for the Warriors to lose, like usually a couple things happens. One, they go cold. Every team goes cold. Another thing that happens with them, it's plagued them ever since this dynasty, and I call it dynasty, started, turnovers. They turned the ball over a lot, especially at the end of this game. They averaged 14 a game, which is kind of mid-table, but they had 22 in this one. Why does this keep happening to this team year after year?
Look where Montrezl Harrell is standing. Andre Iguodala has the ball at the top of the floor. He's not guarding him. So that allows you to suppress the paint. So anytime somebody drives, you digging at the ball. You're trying to swipe it away. You're trying to contest the ball handling. You're trying to contest the shot. You're trying to block it at the rim. You have more length. You have more arms. You have more activity because you're leaving Livingston, Iguodala, Draymond, Bogut,
Looney,
you leaving all of them open.
We know the 3 that you don't leave open.
Splash Brothers and KD.
That's it.
You're guarding.
Everybody else, if it's not one of those 3, leave them open.
And KD led the team with 9 turnovers. just like you just discussed.
That's a lot of turnovers for one human being in one game. A lot of that has to do with Pat Beverley. Pat Beverley's defense was amazing. When he was the primary defender, Steph, KD, and Klay had 5 turnovers in the game, and they were only 2 for 7.
An open floor. When you start talking about best handles in the game, Steph Curry's going to be mentioned. Can't get ripped in the fourth quarter by Pat Beverley like
Not
that. That can't happen.
Coming around a screen or in traffic or going to the hole, like I can see that. But at half court, wide open like that.
And another thing that can't get overlooked, when KD was coming off, when Steph was coming off the down screen that led to KD fouling out, he pulled KD's waist. That made him move. So therefore, the defender was able to take the contact, exaggerate the contact, and then it was an accurate foul call.
And he fouled out.
That was a cause and effect that led to him not fouling out of the game.
I mean, it was a big loss for the Warriors. I think they got a little complacent. It's hard not to when you're up by 31 with that little time left, and that's kind of what led to all this happening. They're going to end up winning the series.